Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel, and this is going to be a review of The Real Housewives of Potomac season 6 episode 11. There's no business like shade business. So the episode starts off with Candace at her home. Her mom had come over to appear in Candace's music video shoot or to support her for the music video, but yeah, she's there to support Candace for her debut video. And as she's in Candace's home, she's being typical Dorothy. She's, bossing Candace around, giving her opinion on everything and how her house should look and how the interior decoration should go in the living room, just being, typical bossy Dorothy. Then we move on to the dance rehearsal. So she's rehearsing in the studio for the dance routine of her video. Now, Candace is not very, she's not good, I guess, with choreographed dancing or whatever. She was making a lot of mistakes, but it was a cute little scene. Candace is really adorable. She has a cute little shape, a really pretty face. So, the whole thing with her wanting to go into the music industry and being a performer, I think it's good for her. She can sing, she can dance, she's adorable. So this is a really good move for her. Better than, I guess, her trying to push that wig line. Now, when she takes a break from the dancing, she gives a call to Chris. And I've noticed this season that, and I don't know if this is real or made up for views or what's going on, but there's a lot of tension between Chris and Candace. And Chris seems all in himself. He seems a little off, like there's something going on with him. Number one, he looks so much older than he did last year. I'm not understanding what's going on with Chris. In the very first episode, when Candace and Giselle were sitting in Candace's living room and Chris shows up into the scene, I didn't even recognize him as Chris. I was like, who's this old man? Chris looks like he's aged about 15 years since last season. I'm not quite sure how old he is, but Chris looks a good 56, 57 years old. And I'm just like, I don't know what's happening with Chris. I don't know if it's the stress of him having to close down his restaurant and trying to find work, or I don't. And then there's a lot to say about Chris and Candace. Then there's this whole thing where, so later on in the episode, we find out that he ended up closing down his restaurant. And it looks like he's giving cooking lessons online. And they just bought a brand new house, which I think it's at least $1 million home. And Candace, I don't know what's going on with her wig line, but she's trying to launch her music career. So it seems like there's no steady source of income. That's what it kind of seems like, other than, I guess, Chris's cooking video. Online cooking tutorials, and I guess the money that Candace gets from the show. And I don't know if her wig line is still in business, I don't know, but there's some obvious tension between Chris and Candace. Now, back to the dance rehearsal. When she had taken the break to talk to Chris, I felt like the way that they were communicating with each other was extremely toxic. Even when they were in the previous episode, I don't know which one it was, when they were sitting at the restaurant and Chris was getting upset because he felt like Candace just wanted him to follow her around and be her little assistant and, be her manager and just give up on whatever he wants to pursue to help her pursue her dream. When they were having that whole conversation, when Candace wanted him to be more present with his husbander duties and Chris was like, I have my own life and my own thing to do, I kind of felt like they were just talking to each other so mean, and it was so toxic. And he was cussing, it was just bad. It was really, really bad the way he was talking to Candace. And I understand, every relationship, no matter what type of relationship it is, husband and wife, parent, child, sibling, boss, employee, in every relationship, there's going to be conflict, but I don't think it should ever resort to, anyways, moving on. So, when they're talking on the phone at the dance rehearsal, and I'm all over the place. When they're talking on the phone at the dance rehearsal, she wants him to be more present. And I guess Chris thinks that he's he can manage her from a distance. Like, he doesn't have to be at every photo shoot, at every rehearsal, at every studio session. He doesn't have to be there. He thinks that he can go ahead and manage her from a distance. Now, I don't understand why Candace just doesn't hire her own manager, because I don't think it's that great of an idea to have a family member manage you, unless maybe you are a parent managing a small child. But once that child gets to a certain age, I think the parent should be a little bit more hands-off and hire a professional to take in, because I don't know how you mix business with personal. It just seems like a recipe for disaster. Now, at the video shoot, the actual video shoot of the video, she had invited all the girls to be a part of the video except for Ashley. Even Karen was invited to be a part of the video. Even her mother was in the video. Now, the video, I thought, was supposed to be, well, I don't know. I haven't seen the whole video, so I really don't know what the context of the video is. But I would have thought that she wanted it to be like a video featuring a lot of young, fresh, attractive people. But maybe she wanted it to have more of a personal touch, and that's why she had her mom there and Karen there, because I thought it would have been a better choice to have Ashley than to have Karen. But maybe Candace felt like, Ashley would steal the show or something, because, Ashley, anyways. So I was just kind of like, I didn't understand the whole thing of I mean, you had Wendy and Robin and, Robin's friend, the girl from Ethiopia, I think. They were all dressed, in these very young looking, they had on like the little Daisy Duke denim shorts and the stockings. And I think they had on boots, knee-high boots, I think, or thigh-high boots. And then you have Karen. When she showed up, everybody said she looked like she was coming to a business meeting, when she just came from a business meeting. She was dressed all conservative. Candace's mom, Dorothy, she was dressed like she was about to make a quick Walmart run. I mean, it just didn't make any sense. There was like no cohesiveness at all in the look of the group. And I thought that it would have been, I thought she really would have preferred to have the younger girls, the younger women in her video. But anyways, her video, her choice, it just looked a little bit off. So when everybody arrived, they all arrived into this empty parking lot, because the scene is supposed to take place, I guess, I'm not sure exactly what was happening, but there were supposed to be luxury cars there. I guess it was supposed to be like a Fast and Furious type of aesthetic. And the cars that were supposed to show up for the video shoot didn't show up at all. And so that was a big part of the video, was this scene at the end with all the exotic cars and, Candace there with her homegirls and her love interest showing up. And it didn't happen that way at all. So they had to use the cars of the cast members, the ones that did have the luxury cars. They had to use their cars instead. Now, at the video shoot, before they started shooting, Dorothy was up there and just talking a lot of mess about Chris, which I just was like, Dorothy, you are just way too much. So she's pulling women aside, like she's talking to Giselle, she's talking to Karen, she's talking to Wendy, and she's just talking all this mess about her son-in-law, Chris. And I'm just like, Dorothy, I mean, don't you have any kind of filter, any kind of couth? Like, why? This is still your daughter, and this is still your daughter's husband. And at the end of the day, this is the man that your daughter chose. So for you to go around talking negative things about him, it's kind of like, I mean, don't you wonder what your daughter's going to feel like? Unless she really doesn't care for Chris and she's just using him for something, I don't know what, fine. But it seems like she really does care for this man, that they have this really real loving relationship. They may have a few bumps right now, but they're in this marriage. And instead of you trying to support and make the situation better, you are talking crap about your son-in-law to all of your daughter's friends. And that's just a big no-no. So that really, I was looking at Dorothy like real crazy. And then everybody else, you could tell, like with Robin and also with Giselle, you can tell that they were kind of like looking around at this whole video shoot thing. And they thought, you can just tell from the look on their faces and the little snide remarks, I think they thought this whole thing was a joke. They thought this whole thing was silly. And Mia, she came out there and she even asked Dorothy if Chris was getting paid for being Candace's manager. Now, I understand it seems like there's a pattern with these Real Housewives franchises that the new girl, whenever the new girl shows up, the new girl is like they really come on strong. You know, they're just trying to really make a name for themselves to secure a second season for themselves. And they just come there with all the mess, no holds barred, guns blazing. And I felt like that's what Mia was just trying to do. She really probably didn't care whether or not Chris got paid, but she just wanted to say something just to kind of make her mark and be messy so that she can be a part of the crew and she can be memorable and for her to come back next season. That's how I saw that, because that was just, who does that? Who goes around to someone that you don't even know and ask them if their son-in-law is getting paid for doing whatever job he's doing with? I'm just like, who does that? That's not even real. Okay, and so at the end of the video shoot, they did the shoot. Chris ended up showing up, and when Chris showed up, he showed up in his chef uniform, I guess, because he was just done with his online cooking tutorials. I guess that's what he does. So he shows up at the scene at the very end, and he's really like discombobulated. He's very uncomfortable. He's very awkward. You know, he's upset because, you know, Candace has been calling him, telling him that the cars didn't show up, so on and so forth. So he shows up and he's like, you know, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And I felt bad for Chris because everybody was kind of like looking at him, kind of like, you know, I don't know, like they were just like giving him the side eye, like, you know, I don't know. When Candace looks back at these episodes, I really wonder how I really wonder how she's going to feel, because this particular episode just made her and Chris and this whole thing look so bad. Just like they don't know what they're doing, that they're struggling financially. You got Candace's mom talking nonsense about Chris. You got people looking at the whole set, which is just this empty parking lot. Like, you know, what kind of cheap production is this? And I don't know. I hope the video came out right. I might need to check it out to see. I hope it came out okay. It looks like it did. Candace looked really, really good. Karen looked out of place, you know, as if this 50-something-year-old woman would show up at a drag race or whatever, wherever they were at. She looked really out of place to me. I think it would have been better to have Ashley from a business point of view. You don't like Ashley, you're not the best of friends, but you want your video to still look good and you want your video to look cohesive. So it would make sense, because you're dancing around, you know, her dancers are young, these younger girls. And all of a sudden you show up at this event or at this place and you have 40 and 50-year-old women there. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So it would make sense if you showed up somewhere, your girls show up, and then, you know, there's other young people there. I don't know. That's just my thought. But she's just too wrapped up in the personal, because Candace really, really, really hates Ashley. And I think it comes from a point from jealousy. I think Candace is really jealous of Ashley, because they're very similar. They're the youngest women on the show. They're both married to white men, and they both have these issues with their husbands. And you would think that that would bring them closer together, but instead they're not. And every time it seems like Candace goes out of her way to personally attack Ashley, and Ashley will retaliate in a personal way, but it's not as below the belt as Candace. Like when they were at that house, what house was that? Wherever they went, I forgot where they went, whatever trip they took, and Ashley ended up coming in for just that one day, and she came in and she basically, you know, brought up to Wendy the rumors about her husband on the blogs, and then, you know, Candace didn't like that and told Ashley to leave, and then when she said, you take your milk and you get out of my house, and I'm like, why do you have to bring that up? Why can't you just tell her, just get the hell out of my house? But she says, you take your milk and you get out of my house. Take your wide-bodied self, take your breast milk and get out of my house. Like, why are you, it seemed like body shaming, mom shaming. Like, why are you bringing up these maternal things to attack her? I didn't understand that. Whatever. But it seems like Candace has a bigger problem with Ashley than Ashley does with Candace. That's what I think. Because I think if it was the other way around, if Ashley was going to do a video, I'm pretty sure she would have invited Candace. Ashley wouldn't care enough to not invite her. But Candace, you know, it's real personal for her. Let's see what's going on with Miss Mia. So with Miss Mia, you know, there was a scene with her and her husband in the kitchen, and she's making herself breakfast, you know, getting her kids ready for online learning or whatever the hell. And she's talking about Candace and Chris to her husband, and she's comparing her relationship with her husband to Candace and Chris. And basically she was saying that, you know, a husband managing the wife is just not a good look. It's not going to work out. It's a recipe for disaster. And that when her and her husband began working together, you know, she thought that her husband was a little bit too much in that aspect, and she kind of wanted just to kind of break off that business relationship with him so they can protect the personal relationship. And so it was better for them not to work that closely together, or not to work together at all, or whatever they decided to do. So she basically took over everything, and I guess he's retired now. I guess, I'm not sure. And then she also had talked to her mom. So she FaceTimed her mom, and she was reaching out to her mom and seeing if her mom would be available to take her kids out for ice cream. And it seemed like her mom was not really committing to that. It seemed like, I'm not sure. And basically, Mia is trying to rebuild her relationship with her mom, and in the process, you know, build a relationship between her mom and her children, because her mom lives with her sister and is very involved with her sister's kids. And she kind of basically wants she wants her kids to have that same type of relationship with their grandmother. And it's really sad, you know. Her mom has several children by 3 different men, I think. She's got Mia with Mia's dad, an older child with another man, and then twin children with another man, with a third man. And so the previous episodes had alluded to the fact that maybe the issues with Mia and her mom stem from the relationship between Mia's mom and her dad. That because of that relationship not working out, her mom kind of takes out her negativity towards Mia's dad. She takes that out on Mia, because that was the relationship that affected her the most, I guess, out of all of her relationships. And so, but Mia's trying to, you know, extend the olive branch and reach out to her mom, and really wants to build something with her mom. So we'll see how that goes. Now, Giselle, nothing there. She's teaching Grace how to drive. So there were all those, you know, silly, funny scenes of near accidents with Miss Grace. Wendy has no idea what the hell she's doing with her business. I'm not sure what's going on with Wendy. I understand her wanting to branch out, to do something different. I guess to follow her passion is interior decorating. And so she's starting off with selling candles, which is crazy because last season we saw nothing of this. We saw nothing of her having any kind of inkling of an interest in interior decoration or selling candles or any kind of home decor ventures. Now all of a sudden I'm like, where is Wendy? Where's last year's Wendy? Because does Wendy have an identical twin, and that's the one who's taken over the role of Wendy? Because this Wendy, I'm not sure who this woman is. She got the whole new body, the whole new attitude, the whole new career plan, and I'm not understanding why if you're going to choose any type of business venture, why candles? Because it seems like a very oversaturated business is the candle business. Like, it seems like everybody and their dog has a candle line. Even Miss Karen, she also is releasing a candle line. And she was trying to make it seem like her candle line was a whole lot different from Wendy's, because her candles have 3 wicks, while Wendy's candles only have 1 wick. I'm like, are candles that serious? Candles are great, but are they that serious? I mean, are people really like putting that much, when I say people, I mean consumers, are they investing that much time and effort and energy in the buying and consumption of candles? because Wendy and Karen are taking these candles extremely seriously. Now, if the candle line is a part of something else, I get it. But it seems like Wendy is really razor focused on selling these candles. And the name of the candles, it's a Nigerian name. And I can't even pronounce it. I'm like, what is it again? You know, why do you... Oh, we can't even pronounce the name of it correctly. It's like when people see it, like if they don't watch the show and have heard you pronounce it, they're not going to know exactly how to pronounce it. And I'm thinking that's kind of would work against your candle selling business, because you want something that people can easily pronounce. They'll know what to ask for and they'll know what to recommend to other people. But anyway, so she's doing this weird thing with home decor where she's going to venture off into other aspects of home decor, but she's starting off with candles. And I can understand her mom being really worried about that, because, you know, you went to college and you went to grad school and you have multiple degrees. You're a very intelligent, intellectual woman. And if anything, I thought she would probably go more into her political analysis and have her own show, her own podcast, you know, to go deeper into that instead of just appearing on other people's shows, you know, making a guest appearance on other people's shows, that she would want to do that for her own. But I guess not. Okay, Ashley. Ashley goes to see her family, her mother, Uncle Lump, Uncle Lump's wife, her cousins, and so on and so forth. Her brother's there as well. She brings the kids over to see her family, and as soon as she shows up, she just starts talking about her lady parts, you know, whatever she was talking about that, you know, after having the baby, all the things that are going on with her down yonder. And I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. Why would you talk about such personal things in front of your uncle and the rest of your family? I understand y'all are close. I get it. Fine, whatever. But just to show up and start talking about how whatever's going on down there, that was just really crazy to me. That's just sharing a little bit too much. Ashley's a very open book. You know, she gives it, she takes it. She's, you know, she lays her whole life out, and that's fine. That's good. That makes good TV. But at some point, especially with your own family, there's like, you would be like, okay, I'm not going to cross over that line. I'm not going to talk about, you know, how, I don't know what she said about some, okay, to her Uncle Lump. Okay. Now, she tells her family that Michael wants to venture out into the filmmaking business. Okay, that was met with a very cold reception by her family. They're kind of like, what? And it didn't seem like a great idea. It seems like a big, what do they call it? A business or something that uses a lot of money and has no return. Money pit. Seems like a huge money pit. And I don't know. And then she talked about how, you know, maybe she would be starring in these films. And I was just like, wow. Oh, okay. I thought Ashley would want to be more like behind the scenes, maybe in the role of production, executive producing. But no, she wants to be in front of the camera. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Moving on. Robin is looking for a bigger warehouse space for her business. When she was talking to her life coach wanted her to commit because Robin is all over the place. Now, Robin is doing this business thing, I think, with her hats and maybe other type of apparel. I'm not sure, which is fine. Okay, fine. That's another thing. Okay, fine. People want to wear hats. She wants to sell hats. That's a match made in heaven. My only thing is Robin really a businesswoman? Okay, is she really a good businesswoman? Could sell anything. Is she really a business-minded woman? And what qualifies her to be an entrepreneur? Not everybody is meant to be a boss. Not everybody should be dabbling in business, especially when Robin's track history with money is not that great. So she wants to I don't even know it doesn't even appear to me that Robin is passionate about any of this stuff, but whatever. So she's looking for a bigger space. She's out there with Juan. They found a warehouse that could probably work for them. I don't know. Who knows? And then I'm just asking myself constantly, if Robin has lost money and has not paid taxes or whatever's going on with the taxes, where they ended up owing the IRS, gave money to the friend who made bad investments and he ended up killing himself. She has a really poor track history of money management. Why does Juan continuously let her throw more money at her? Now they're building a home and they're already $100,000 over budget with their home, and she has her own business, and she's going to rent out space for her business. So that's another $1,700 to $2,000 a month in renting out that space. I just don't understand why Juan is continuously letting her take control of the finances when she's not that great at financing. I think Robin is a good supporter. She was a good support to Juan. She's a great mom. Maybe she's one of those people that's just really, she just does better in the supporting role and not so much in the main cast. She'll do better being, supporting Juan in his ventures, being there for her kids in that aspect of it, not so much as being this entrepreneur business owner. I don't know. That's what it seems like to me, but she might prove me wrong. I don't know what's going on with her hats. I haven't been to her website. Robin also addresses with Juan that, she should, his approach to her sometimes might be a little bit too rough, and, it can be kind of hurtful, the things that he says. When he said her being lazy was unattractive to him. And he should have went about that a little bit better. He shouldn't have used such hurtful words. And what I liked about that scene was that Juan took it and he was like, okay, I'll change my ways. He didn't argue. He didn't try to justify. He didn't try to defend or make up excuses for what he said to her that hurt her feelings. He was just like, okay, I will do better. And I really liked that scene. That was a beautiful resolution to a problem between a couple. That was really, really nice. I dug that a lot. And I think I've come to the end of my review. So, Candace, you look beautiful, but I don't know what's going on with this video. I might go check it out. The finished product with all the editing and the post-production might be a whole lot better than what we saw there on that episode. And maybe they would have edited some better clothes on her mom, some more hip clothes on Karen. I don't know. But maybe I'll check it out if I can remember and if I care enough. Thank you for joining me. Come back next time if I make another video. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.